I thought I would do a video where I actually do the project for chapter 1. I believe it's going to give me a problem when I do that. I think it's with the project file. So I thought it would be good if I just kind of start from scratch. You can see every step again that I make, and hopefully it will actually mess up and I'll have to fix it so you can see it. The first step would be for me to pull up QuickBooks. And when you install QuickBooks software, it automatically puts a desktop icon here. So you guys are probably just clicking on that to load your software. If, let's say, I accidentally deleted it, it wasn't there, whatever reason, I'm going to load QuickBooks another way. And I have Windows 8, so my button down here is going to look different than probably the majority of you. Yours is going to have like your regular Windows Start menu. But so I'm sure you recognize this. It comes up like this. I'm looking for my software for QuickBooks. Of course, I don't see it, so I don't. Let's see. So what do I do to find it? I actually go down here under All Programs, and I click on that. And when I do that, you usually have a few, again, shortcuts for different software you normally use. I'm going to scroll down, and I am going to look for QuickBooks. And there's the folder. When I do that, there's several things that drop down. See that same icon again. I'm going to choose this one, and it should load QuickBooks right up for me. So I'm at the back of the book, or the back of chapter 1, page 1.55, where I'm going to do my first project. And again, now we got Larry's landscaping. And so we need to load that file. So throughout the chapter, we use one company, and the projects are something else. So you actually have to pull up two different data files for each chapter. So as I'm looking at the first requirement under the project, I see it tells me to restore the project 1 data file for Larry's landscaping. And it says to update the company name for that. So I'm going to take the blue CD that is in the back flap of my book. I'm going to load that. And if you're looking on my screen, you see that it says, do I want to set up an external account and user? I'm just going to say no. It brings up a default file, but I want to bring up the one that I need for this book. So I'm going to, what do? Do I want to open or restore? Yes. You would do open if you're opening the regular file. You do restore if you've got a backed up file that you're going to do bring up. All of the files on your data CD are backup files, so open it, it's not going to do me any good. I need to do a restore. And then I click next. It is local because it's not online anywhere. It's going to default back to where I've been storing the files when I was doing the first chapter. So I know that I need to go to my CD. So how do I do that? I'm going to go to my computer, and I'm going to tell it to look into my hard drive. When I do that, I go into the student data files. I do not pick up a chapter file. I pick up the project file. You'll notice that there's only one. The reason that there's only one is because the subsequent chapters we're actually going to use the same data file, and then we can. So there's no need for one for additional chapters. You really don't need all of these either. They're just kind of giving you that, I guess, just in case you feel like you just screw it royally and you want to take the data file from the back of the from the CD. But typically, you really shouldn't have to use any of them once you get past the first chapter. So we're going to open this up, or select it, do a next. Okay, so what am I going to name it? Because again, notice it says save company file as. And this is what you guys have been doing. It is defaulting up here to whatever folder, it could be the right one on yours, or it could be something completely wrong. If you're just not sure and you're uncomfortable, hopefully you have saved a folder on your desktop. That's what I've done. So I can quickly click desktop there and then go into the right folder, which is this one. Oh, and see what I did? I accidentally hit a file up here, and when I did that, it's going to actually save over something that I didn't mean for it to do. So I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm going to do it again. I have to restore, next, local, and I need to select it. So I'm going to go to my computer here. Do the same thing. I have to go all the way back through my steps because I clicked before I should have. Desktop, that, and I'm going to hit save. It says it already exists because I've done this before. I'm going to say yes to replace it because I want to start fresh. I'm not sure. It really shouldn't be telling me that. So this is a good example for me to show you. I'm going to do project 1-A. What it is it doesn't want me to save on top of that other file. It wants me to automatically save within the software. As you're working, everything is automatically being saved. It's not like Excel where you actually have to click a save button. Everything, as you do keystrokes, you're updating it in real time. I always update my file. And as it's doing that, I'm going to look real quick to my little... Okay, so my recorder accidentally put itself on pause, so I had to get it back going again if you see kind of a break. But all I've done is just loaded the file, the current project file. Then there it is. The next thing I need to do, if I'm looking in my chapter for my projects, is I need to, on number 2, download. It says to download the Go Paperless Reports Excel file. However, this is where I've given you all of your information. So I am going to go into Blackboard, and I'm going to grab the file. And it's this one right here. So I'm going to hit enable. There it is. Now I need to go ahead and save it. Put my name on it and then make sure that I save it in the right place. I know my files are in my desktop. There's my folder. And I already have it right here. Well, actually I don't because I didn't put a space there. So I need to remember to pull the right one. So there it is. So now I can start exporting to it. Whenever you export to Excel, you actually have to have it closed down. So I'm looking now, finishing actually part of step 1. Notice right here it's telling you the name of the company. Sample, your name, Project 1, Larry's Landscaping. Here I'm going to look at my company information. And I am actually going to just leave it like that. Well, okay, I'll put my name there, I guess. Okay, so I completed step 1. Step 2 I already did because that was to download the template. Step 3, it says using the Chapter 1's report Excel template, export to Excel using the update existing worksheet. The profit and loss standard for Larry's Landscape for the last fiscal year, October 1, 2015 to September 30, 2016. So there's several different ways you can actually go to where you want to be, and you all have either any method is fine. So I'm just going to go up to click in company and financial. Notice that there are several profit and loss statements, and it asked me to pull the profit and loss standard. Here it brought it right up, and this is good to show you all because a lot of times you're bringing it up maybe when it comes up it's you put the date and change the date before you actually generate the report. Notice that my report is already generated, but I can just as easily come right up here and put the date that I'm supposed to put. Always make sure that you have your dates correct, because that is what I see the most often, the mistakes people make. It did go ahead and refresh. Make sure that when you change a date that it changes it here. Sometimes you have to hit this refresh button to make sure that it actually took the date. So I've generated the report. It wants me to export into Excel. So I click Excel. It says to do an update existing worksheet. So now I've got to find my worksheet. So I've got to browse. And it's this one. And I know that, another way I know that is I can just see today's date. So I click open. It brought in the worksheet right here. Which one do I choose? I'm doing project PR1.3.pl. Again, this correlates directly to what your exercise names are in your textbook. I'm going to go ahead and click Advanced. And I want to make sure down here that my headers are printed on the report only. Click Export. It's going to ask me if I want to update an existing worksheet. It does that because you could actually have data and you're using 1 month as your template and you're going forward, and you don't want to accidentally update the information, but I do in this case. So when I do the export, it should automatically open up Excel for me, and it does. Now what I have to do is I have to actually save it, because if I just get out of it, which I've got to close it down in order to do the next step. If I had gone ahead and hit X right here and gotten out of Excel, it would not have saved this. And I know a lot of this is just pretty obvious to you guys, but I'm trying to cover everything I've seen people have problems with to help you out. And my videos are actually limited to 15 minutes, so I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to start back up right here and go on to the next step.